Hi guys, my name is Abby and welcome back to a new video. And this is kind of a special video because it's not just like I make something or I make something for someone else. This is about a fashion show that I was invited to do at my school. So I'm a freshman and I didn't really expect to be able to do any fashion shows, but someone at my school, another student, reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be in it. And I'm not on campus this semester for personal reasons, so I was like, I also had to sign a paper saying I would not be going back to campus because of COVID, but it's okay for me to go back just that one day just to show my stuff. And I'm so nervous, but I'm so excited. I mean, I've done projects for like school clubs, like competitions, but this is like different because it's like an actual fashion show, not just like here's a club with a fashion subcategory. So the theme of the show is divine fashion, and so it's kind of like she said it was very broad, so you could do whatever. Some of the sketches I was going to use for my portfolio, because I was going to try to transfer schools, which is a whole big thing, but so I started making a portfolio, and then I got 2 jobs and never finished the portfolio. But the first dress I had in mind was this one. It's kind of pretty. Nice. Yeah. My drawing has improved a lot, but it's still not the best, but that's okay. Just don't look at the feet. It's the outfit that matters. She doesn't have a face either, but that's okay. And then this is the second one. She kind of gives me like a Moana vibes in a way. I think it's really pretty. This is proving to be very difficult to make though. I've already started to make them, as you can see in the back. But some of them, and these were just like the sketches I made. I have made some changes to them as I go along. And then this is the last one, the showstopper, the death of me. So all the flowers that I'm making are handmade flowers and are all going to be hand sewn on. So it's a lot. It's been a lot. And my show is coming up soon. And I'm not done with... I'm only done with one right now. I still have to make the other 2. But like I said, I currently work 2 jobs. And between the 2 jobs, I work about 60 to 70 hours a week. And go to school. And try to do this fashion show. So I'm a little dead inside, but you know, I'm motivated, and I know that once this is over, I'll feel so good and relieved and refreshed, and so I just gotta keep pushing forward. So this, I guess, even though I'm recording this after some of it's already been done, it's gonna be more like a vlog style of making stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little stressed out, so it's not like every single step or detail is, I mean, it usually isn't even that good, but this time it's not the best. But yeah, and I'm hoping to also record it walking down the runway the final day. So I hope you're excited and love these dresses as much as I do. So let's just jump right into making them.
Like majority of everything else I make, I didn't use any patterns for these dresses and instead just measured out what I hoped would fit. I did my usual 5-piece sweetheart neckline bodice as I usually do because I just think that it is really flattering and looks amazing on literally everyone. There was a slight difference between the designs on the front and the back of the fabric, so it was very hard to tell the right side from the wrong side, but once I was finally able to decipher them, I just street stitched down all the pieces together, and then using my pinking shears, trim the seams down so they wouldn't be so bulky, and then do the exact same thing for my lining. I knew that I wanted an overlay and had chiffon in mind, but all the chiffon I found was heavy and covered up the design of the pink fabric underneath, so I instead opted to use this kind of soft organza mesh one and made another one of the bodices out of it, and then I sewed all 3 pieces together with the organza layer in the middle. Next, doing my usual skirt routine, I cut out 3 rectangles, sewed and serged them together, and then gathered them to the waist measurement. I made 2 skirts total, one out of the pink fabric and one out of the organza fabric, and stuffed them in between the lining pieces. Since there were so many layers, I used my machine to sew the front, but then hand sewed the back piece because it was very important to me that these dresses were done in the most beautiful way possible, because so many people would be seeing them. It was very difficult to sew, but the clean edge in the end made it all worth it. I hemmed the bottom of both skirts and created a waistband out of the pink fabric to help make the waist more noticeable. I made all the backs lace up with the grommets since I didn't know the measurements of my models and I wanted to make sure that they could fit anyone and not be too big or too tight. Next, I made the sleeves puffed as I usually do out of the organza with the pink fabric as the cuff, and then I thought the dress was complete, but then I found this cute pink ribbon flower thing and used it as added decoration on the waistband.
right now it is currently 2:44, April 9th. My show is on the 24th. That is a 24 minus 9. 15? Like 2 weeks away? That's just 2 weeks away, and I have one dress done.
Now this next dress can be summed up in one word: disastrous. Like, the end result is nice, but the road to the end was worse than the potholes on a New Jersey highway. I started making the bodice one way in like this corset bustier style, but I could not for the life of me get it to look right. And it was just not working out no matter what I did. And I actually ended up having to give up on it and go like a different route 4 times. And the bodice was actually the last thing I ended up finishing on the dress. Pushing aside the bust nightmare, I created this like under bust waist piece and sewed on 3 parts of boning with 2 rows each, like on each part, to give it support and to also help define the waist. I then cut out 2 back pieces and sewed them onto the main body piece. You can see how horrendous the bodice was in the beginning, and I can most definitely say that seam ripping it out was the only way to fix it. To prevent the back sides from falling down and folding in on themselves, I sewed on boning channels as I did for the front, and I made sure to file down the ends of each boning strip before I inserted them into the channel to stop them from ripping or breaking through the fabric. Next, I sewed on the sides, creating almost a guide for the grommets, and to prevent it from fraying anymore, I decided to serger it. Then, using my very, very, very limited knowledge of math, I estimated that the skirt would be made up of about 5 panels with those measurements, and then cut out 10 panels total to make 2 skirts. And then after sewing and sergering the sides, I lightly gathered the ends and connected them to the bodice. And then all there left to do was to just hem the bottom of both skirts, and then the second dress was done. For my last dress, I found this really pretty white fabric with these light flower details and bought the whole bolt, since I knew I would end up needing all the fabric. I used the same technique to make the bodice as I did for the pink dress, and then I decided to make the skirt tiered, so I used the entire width of about 44 inches for the longest tier, and then I took a piece and split it so one was about the width of 15 inches and the middle one would be about 29 inches, and then I gathered the waist of all 3 pieces and base stitched them together, and then sergered the raw edges of each piece. I then sewed them to the front of the bodice, and then once again hand sewed down the back of the bodice for a nice clean look. I then top stitched down the bodice and sewed at the back, adding in the grommets as I did for the other dresses. Instead of just a regular hem on the skirts, I sewed in horsehair braid to give the ends dimension and to help keep their shape.
Alright, it is currently Thursday, 2 days, literally. Is it 2 days before my show, and I'm driving up there at 6 p.m. So they have to be done by tomorrow 6 p.m. everything. I'm working on the flowers for one of the dresses, but for the second one, I tried to do like this bustier style top, but I don't know why. Like at first, before it was attached to like the rest of the bodice, it was good, but then when I attached it, it wasn't, and I tried putting darts in, and no matter what I do, it just doesn't fit right. So when I went to Hobby Lobby to buy some stuff, I found these, and I was like, oh, like little breast things, this will be perfect. I didn't realize they were so freaking padded. And also like, this is like my size, but it's really, really small. I don't know why. So I can't use these, so I think I'm just gonna have to change the whole style of the top, which makes me so angry, but we're just gonna have to wing it. But first I gotta sew, hot glue all the pearls onto all of these flowers and all of those flowers, and this is probably gonna take me like a couple hours, so we're just we're just gonna cry, but that's okay. Just gotta think of the end goal. Yeah.
Now these damn flowers still traumatize me. So for each flower, I cut 5 strips of about 4 inches each, and then using a candle melted down both ends to prevent fraying. I had planned on using over 200 flowers, so you can imagine just how many strips of ribbon I had to burn. It was affecting my eyes so bad that I literally had to wear sunglasses. I spent over 20 hours cutting, burning, and sewing together all of these flowers, and then for the middle of them, I used these like half pearl beads and hot glued them in the middle to help hide the ends of the ribbon. But then I ended up changing my design and didn't need majority of the flowers, so I not only hurt my back, but my soul. I did a mixture of hand sewing and hot gluing the flowers all over the skirt, And then finally, all the dresses were complete.